Welcome to Florida Men on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in
Florida. Guys.
Hey, Josh.
I had a dream last night.
Okay.
And I rarely dream, so
Sure.
it's usually pretty memorable.
Nice.
Special occasion.
And I remember this specifically because I had such a hard time because I shaved earlier that day
Okay.
with a razor blade.
you
like
shaved
clean
before your
shaved.
dream?
Yep. I shaved
Okay.
my neck.
Okay.
Right.
Well, no, I shaved
Just like
before.
clean up, not like you're
Yeah.
not shaving your beard off.
No. It hides the quadruple chin. Amen, baby?
The beard looks good. You're
Yep.
saying that you tightened up the area around it.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And I used the 13 blade Gillette.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh.
it picks up, it puts down.
Big
Wow.
money boy.
Picks up, puts down.
And then it cuts the hair.
Picks it up one more time,
Yeah.
puts it down.
Okay.
Cuts
And
the
then
hair.
the other 7 blades cut the hair.
That's
Perfect.
insane.
Yeah. So in this dream, I shaved my face
Okay.
accidentally.
Your
completely.
entire? Okay.
Yeah. And
Beard
I-
is gone.
Beard's gone. I look up in the mirror and it's Cameron's face. And that was startling because I
'Cause-
thought I was my own person.
Well, I see what you're saying, but I think Cameron and I should take a moment to interpret the dream.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you can't
Well,
interpret your own dream.
Oh, no.
I know what it
usually
means.
a
What do
Wall
you think it
Street-
means, Cameron?
Oh, easily it means that he wishes he was as handsome,
I see.
under-
as good looking as I am.
There's
so
some
in his
insecurity.
dream, there's
a lot of that.
He's insecure about the fact that, to look handsome, he's got to cover up that beautiful face that's actually
Okay.
under there. So
Okay.
maybe the dream should mean to you, have some confidence in those double chins
I
just
see.
use them.
I see.
and don't
Okay.
be afraid.
Now,
Okay.
see, my
And
interpretation.
those double chins.
Right. Well, I was going to say, I think my interpretation was just that the dream was trying to teach him some empathy, right? So you cut your beard hair off.
Yeah.
Right.
And you
I'm
look
like,
at this.
I'm a ghoul.
Right. You look at the sweet baby face,
Yep.
and for a moment, you feel how Cameron feels every day
Okay.
with no
well,
hair on his face.
Okay.
You think that's what it was?
Yeah.
Sweet baby face. I mean, it sounds a little condescending.
It's not.
No.
Okay.
It means it's kind. It means it's welcoming.
Right.
Yeah.
It means it's reassuring.
Yeah.
Well,
Josh woke up reassured.
I woke up crying.
okay, headline.
Headlines?
All right. So, if you have a vehicle that you want to trade in,
Right.
it's not an easy and enjoyable experience
Nope.
usually.
No.
They really kind of work those deals really hard to make sure that the dealership is getting the best deal.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
For
I've
sure.
considered lighting my car on fire or
Instead of
giving it
trading
away.
in.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
I definitely know people that have given a car away
Just
instead
to
of just
avoid it.
dealing with the hassle.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so, anyways, well, this guy had some similar issues where he definitely had some hassles that happened because of the fact that he was trying to trade in a car. So he
Okay.
goes to Lake City Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep
Oh.
to trade in or sell this vehicle that he had.
Okay.
And police were almost immediately called.
Okay.
And so the police show up, and he's pretty much unaware of what's going on.
Yeah. Just trading in a
until-
car.
Yeah.
Right, until it comes out that this guy had stolen this car from Lake City Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep
Okay.
about
Wow.
3 days earlier, and then went back to the same dealership to try to sell them their own car.
It's not a
Okay.
thinking man.
Is not a thinking man. I don't know what he was thinking. I mean,
I don't know.
you can
That's-
easily track any car with a VIN number.
Yeah. Maybe he thought different employees are going to work.
right.
Maybe.
It's a different shift.
Different shift.
Right. He
Right,
stole
yeah.
it from the night shift. He's taking it back
Yep.
to the day shift.
He's
But
like, I changed the license plate. They'll never know.
Here's what
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
Dealer plate was taken off.
A lot of the headlines we do, I think like a third of them are basically, people returning to the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
and
yeah.
getting
Oh,
caught
yeah, and
because
getting
they
caught
come back.
themselves.
Like
Yeah,
that's so crazy
absolutely.
to me.
So I don't know why he wouldn't just take it to why wouldn't you call
Anywhere else.
yeah, what's the Carvana?
Carvana?
Carvana or your local
Yeah.
shop.
Sponsored
Well,
by Carvana.
Yeah, Carvana would pick it up. Yeah, and they'd be
Yeah.
like, "This is stolen, bro."
Yeah, that's true.
But everybody has a friend that takes apart cars and sells the parts.
Everybody
And
does.
Just take it to
I
that
actually,
guy.
I had a 1998 Dodge Caravan,
I remember that.
and I took it to a CarMax.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, "How much can I get for it?" And I didn't have the rear seats in it.
Okay.
Sure.
You
Who
know,
does?
That would make it
No.
a van.
Right.
Yeah, mattress back there.
Okay, and so I take it, and they're like, "We'll give you $500 for the van,
Okay.
and then another $5 for the seats."
Really?
didn't have the
I didn't have the seats, so
Okay.
I'm like, "What about
The
I just
mattress.
I give you the seats,
Okay.
and I keep the van." And the guy's like, we're not gonna pay $500 for a bench, a caravan.
But they wanted to pay as much for a couple chairs
Yeah, no, it was
Right.
as
one
an
bench.
entire vehicle.
Yeah,
That's
they thought
insane.
they were equal value.
Okay.
Yeah.
A running vehicle and seats. They
that
really
doesn't
wanted
even
those
make
seats.
any sense.
No.
All right, our next headline. We're gonna go back to January 6th, which a
Big
few
day.
people got into some trouble for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Well, this Florida man got in trouble because he went to the Capitol,
Celebrating the nation.
trespassed, got there, had some trouble when he got home, and people saw, or law enforcement saw pictures of him there and that kind of thing. So he gets arrested, he gets charged, and so at this point now he has a GPS monitor on his ankle.
Right.
That's what I'm
Okay,
talking
he has
about.
an ankle monitor, and so law enforcement is able to track him everywhere he goes.
Mhm.
And so this guy, okay, former Army captain,
Uh-oh.
is kind of petitioning his court to take this monitor off of his ankle
Hmm.
because
It's itchy.
he said that it's costing him business because it'll beep randomly, and people don't like the sight of an ankle monitor.
Sure.
As they're trying to do
How
business.
big is this thing? I could hide. You could strap a bowling ball to my ankle, and I could hide it if I needed to.
You got thick
Right.
shoes though.
I do have thick shoes.
It sounds like
Yeah.
a fire alarm when you got to change the battery.
Right.
Oh.
Well, that's the thing is, so if he goes too far, I don't know what where
Shocks
his
him.
limits are.
Oh, I
But-
saw that Shia LaBeouf movie where he was stuck in his house
Right.
and he couldn't go past it.
Oh, Suburbia.
Suburbia, man,
Yeah,
that was a
so-
good
so good.
movie.
It'll start beeping, and then he'll get a phone call immediately, and if he doesn't answer it and give like exact coordinates where he's at, like he'll get picked
What's
up.
the problem here?
I say,
Well, here's the other thing. He's saying that it's also a safety issue
oh my gosh.
because he works on roofs, and he
Okay.
says when he climbs ladders, it's a safety hazard because it could get caught on the ladder.
Swing
rung.
that leg wide, baby.
yeah. You know what I love is
Yeah.
someone who, like this fella,
right.
probably
Is
doesn't
concerned
like
about safety.
It probably doesn't like big government, right?
Hates big gov.
And this guy goes slightly off course, and someone calls him and goes, "Hey, where you at?"
Oh,
It's got to be
he's got-
driving
oh,
him
man.
Oh,
crazy.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, just stop doing silly stuff, my guy.
Right. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
what
just-
silly stuff? Don't
Like-
storm the Capitol. Are you saying don't storm the Capitol?
I think it's a bit dramatic.
okay.
Okay, next headline.
Yep.
We have a Florida man,
Yeah.
okay, who gets arrested. He gets, the cop gets him out of his car, and the cop sees a bulge in the suspect's pants.
That's fine.
Man, That's the
Okay,
first
and-
place they check for bulges.
Right. And he asks this suspect, "Hey,
What you packing?
what's the bulge?"
Right.
Okay. I need to see
Yeah.
what you've got in your pants. And he
Yeah.
says, "That's what she said."
Okay. Well,
And so
I
and
wondered
at
when
this
it would
point,
enter mainstream.
right. And so he's, immediately the cop is upset. I don't know. I feel like the cop might have laughed maybe.
Oh,
if
he was a more
knew the
Parks
joke.
and Rec fan, and
Probably,
not an
yeah,
Office
yeah, yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
He
just-
wasn't a fan after Michael Scott left, but
Me either.
anyways, the bulge ends up being some marijuana in a glass
Okay.
pipe.
Oh,
So
well.
it was,
Okay.
Yeah.
it was good cause that he asked him
Yeah.
about it, because obviously if you have marijuana in there, they want to know about it.
Yeah,
Right.
they do
I get that.
Unless it's
But that's a pretty
prescription.
good joke, though.
That is a
That
good
is
joke.
a good
They
joke.
did not appreciate it.
No.
All right, our next headline, we have a Florida man who is in the news because he somehow kind of defeated Disney in a way.
That's what I'm
Really?
talking
He really got on top of Disney. And so with Disney World, Okay, you can do this is changing now, but
Okay.
back in the day, you could do fast passes, right?
Right.
Love 'em.
right.
Okay, fast passes, you just reserve your spot as a fast pass for a certain ride.
Yeah.
Josh, what's your favorite ride?
Hulk.
You've never been to Disney World. So you reserve your spot at a Disney ride, like the specific attraction, and you get a fast pass for it, and you can skip the line. Well, that's actually going away now.
Why?
And now you have to pay to skip the line.
Oh, that's not cool.
An added charge. A lot of people are upset about
That's
it.
not
like it's
cool.
a big deal. People
What are
are
they
upset
going to do?
about this.
Stop going to Disney?
Well, doubt it.
Nah.
And so this guy figured out how to kind of beat the system and somehow gets a Disney employer's iPad, like an employee iPad.
Wow.
And can somehow tell the system that he is like, he's able to skip the line because like a party with a disabled person can skip the line and go
Sure.
straight to the right.
Sure.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
somehow he's putting into the system that he's with a disabled party and is skipping everybody, and he's just carrying this iPad around to every ride
That's what I'm
and just
talking
putting.
about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
You
talking
don't even know the ride's there,
The Hulk.
and
thing.
you're ready to commit like a crime.
I'll do it for Disney.
Can you name another ride?
Seymour's Castle.
Got it.
The what?
The Seymour's Castle.
Oh man. Anyway, so they figured it out. They're trying to figure out whose iPad it is, which I don't understand how you would. How do you get a hold of an iPad that belongs to a Disney employee?
Well,
not know
my
it?
thing is, why is he not hiding it? Just put it like in a backpack.
Why is he doing the news
Right. Yeah.
rounds?
Just
exactly.
wait in line.
Just wait in line. That's
Just wait
true.
in
Just
line.
wait
Just
in
don't
line,
go.
man.
Right. Our next headline comes out of Marion County. We
Okay.
have a
My favorite.
Florida man, 18 years old,
Okay.
who was involved in a traffic crash. And at some point after this accident, he just kind of walks away.
You got to. You
He
know,
wanders away from
Yep.
the site of the accident.
Mhm.
Okay. And he was picked up and found pretty quickly because he was walking around naked.
Okay.
And it's unclear at this point if he was driving naked. Nobody
Right.
knows like if he got out of the car after the accident just fully nude.
Or any clothes found in the vehicle.
I'm not
Did
sure.
they fall off in the accident? How hard was the hit?
Right. If you
Oh.
get hit from behind really hard, your clothes are coming
Yeah.
off.
like a reverse rapture.
Right.
So
well,
the
no.
clothes leave, but you stay behind naked.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Right.
And so, anyways, deputies found him walking down the road
Yep.
fully naked, and they come up to him. Well, he immediately, this 18-year-old,
Mhm.
attacks this police car,
Okay.
Yep.
pulls
Oh,
the-
wow. Okay.
yeah, attacks the police car, pulls the door handle off,
That's what
and
I'm
then
talking about.
So strong.
then urinates on the vehicle itself.
What?
The
Bro,
timing. That's a lot of
can't.
timing.
I can't go pee in a public restroom
Right.
if one other person's in the room. You know
Right.
what I mean?
If one person's in the building.
Right.
This guy's butt naked on the street,
Pulls the
peeing on
door
a
handle
cop
off.
car.
Yeah, but pulls a door handle off and
Yeah.
immediately transitions.
So he's not. Yeah, he's not sober.
he's not shy.
It's really not transition, though. If you're already nude, you could be just walking up.
I guess
Okay,
so.
well-
But was there anything found on his person? Was it pure like adrenaline? Like,
No. So they asked him if he was on drugs. He said no.
oh, that's fine.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
So, anyways,
That's okay.
he said he denied taking any kind of narcotics. As another police car pulls up.
Yep.
Pulls up. Sorry,
Yeah.
and he immediately starts kicking this car,
Yeah.
pulling on the cage, which I assume that the cage like from the
Yeah.
window,
Right.
causing about $1,000 in damage.
Who is this
who do
guy?
you, like, I don't want to kick anything.
I don't want to kick
especially
anything.
a car
Yeah.
when I
Dude.
don't have any shoes or clothes on.
Strong
Okay.
toes. This
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, he has like steel toes, literally.
Did they like chalk it up to trauma though? Like he was in a car accident.
Yeah.
He's upset. You know, like,
no, they didn't.
it was his grandfather's truck or something.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see what I'm saying? Like,
you can call him
multi-level.
if you want more of a story. That's all I got.
Did he
feel
go to
like-
jail?
Yeah, he went to jail.
Oh,
I feel like I can
Misdemeanor
relate
and a felony.
because I did like at the YMCA.
Right.
I went on the medium diving board
Right.
and I dove and it was like streamlined, but trunks whoop, right
Right off of you.
Yeah. So I probably similar.
You
thing.
came up swinging.
I sure did.
All right. Our next headline: we have
Who took my shorts?
a Florida woman who is just trying to protect the innocent
Okay.
and protect the world as we know it down in Miami Beach.
Come on.
Okay.
Thank
Oh,
you.
God.
So this
Thank
lady
you.
is walking down the street.
Yeah.
Now she sees a man.
Nude.
Well, partially at least.
Right. It's
Miami
because he's
Beach.
doing things that should not be done especially in public.
Yep.
Okay, with himself, and so he's in front of a store, and so he decides to go into that store. Okay, he's outside in front.
Yeah.
She
flexing.
goes into this store, gets a mop, and comes out and starts hitting this guy. She
Purchased it?
goes to hit this
Or
guy
stolen?
with the mop.
Yep.
But luckily for him, I would say, police just happen to see him right before she like swings a mop at this guy.
What?
Right.
Which he totally deserves it.
What was he doing though? Is
So
he just
he-
flexing?
So he's out front. He's breaking the law.
Maybe.
Cameron just stared at me. I asked him, "What's he doing?" He
I'm
just
not going to
goes.
say
He
it.
just goes.
Well, this guy's breaking the law.
Right.
She comes out and
a
like,
lot of them, I feel like.
but here's the thing.
Yeah.
Josh brought up a good point. She comes out with a stolen mop, and
well, she borrowed it.
she goes to commit a
Yeah.
violent act on this man. So now she's broken 2 laws.
Two baddies don't make a goodie.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So she goes
So
to jail.
you're on the. Are you kidding me?
I'm
right
not on
now?
the side of the pervert. I'm on
Right.
the side of the law, and I've said that for years.
The law was on her side.
She went to jail.
No.
She should
She
have.
should have.
Are you? She didn't even hit him.
She stole the
She
mop.
tried.
She didn't-
Attempted broom wielding.
Attempted
mop.
attempted battery, and then successful thievery.
Okay.
Amen.
Well, I'm sorry that you see it that way. Because
Sorry, the Constitution sees it that
You're
way.
super wrong.
Yeah.
So
January 6th.
oh
Don't
my
tread
gosh.
on me.
He's also seen shouting at the officers as they're coming up to him to arrest him. I love you,
Oof.
baby. You are my boyfriend.
That's what he's yelling?
Yes, that's what he's.
I thought you were saying that to me because you made eye contact.
No, you got too many chins for that.
Jesus! What the hell? I don't know. Okay, maybe I do. Hey, fellas.
Hey, Josh.
So I got a letter.
Okay.
Shannon Grimes writes,
Hey, Shannon.
my kid's back in school.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's being bad. I need some creative punishments.
Ooh.
You guys,
Creative punishments.
were you ever punished creatively?
Yeah.
Or could you help me think of a creative punishment for my 12-year-old son,
yeah.
Okay.
Bart?
I had growing up, quite a few. But it's
You're a
interesting.
pretty bad kid.
I was a bad kid, but I feel like sometimes I was punished for things I didn't do.
No, you were a bad kid.
Okay.
No, I was definitely a bad kid.
But like they expected you to do.
Yeah, well, but also like preemptively, like stuff was just taken away from me.
Right.
And I think as part of like coming out of the satanic panic of the 80s,
Okay.
well.
like in the 90s, my Protestant white parents were like hesitant to trust things they didn't fully understand.
Of course.
And so I couldn't watch the Smurfs. I couldn't watch Scooby-Doo. There were things I missed out on.
Well, there was a lot of hidden devils in the Smurfs.
Right.
Right.
And
I
I know
get
that
it.
now as an adult.
Yeah, of course.
But I remember one time my mother's on the phone and I could tell she was talking some sweet, sweet tea because she had
We call
walked
that
away.
loose leaf tea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We had a cord phone, right?
Right.
And she had
Oh,
taken
yeah.
it. She
Throwback.
had taken
Hell
it
yeah.
around to another room. So the cord's max stretched out
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
She doesn't want to be heard. So I go over there to hear what my mother is saying. She's on the phone with a friend from church, I assume. And she goes, I don't know. I don't know what Nickelodeon means.
What?
I'm trying to find it in the dictionary and I can't find anything.
Okay. I think
And
it was,
immediately-
portmanteau.
She didn't know that.
Oh, I
And
don't know if it
immediately,
is.
as a kid, did you guys ever throw temper tantrums behind closed doors? Because like if you did it in front of your parents,
Right.
you get in trouble.
Well,
Oh,
you had to scream into your pillow.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
I marched back to my room. I was so angry because I'm like, you've taken, these shows away from me. Now you've taken away Doug, Rocco's Modern
Wait, she
Life.
took
Wait,
Nick-
I mean, you just said
Rugrats.
that she didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
She took it. They basically banned Nickelodeon because she didn't understand it.
Okay.
How do you
It's just
ban
the title.
Yeah.
Right. Well, no,
Well, I mean, it's a movement.
you're-
Well, what's
you're speaking
a
that.
lifestyle.
You're speaking that to Logic folks right now.
right.
yeah.
Back in the early 90s, I would say Southern Pentecostal movement.
Yeah.
I don't think Logic was a strong point.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And-
Well, jeez.
Yeah, no, I'll say it on the air. So if you didn't understand Nickelodeon, they just took it away.
Well,
And
what that
so
H does Veggie Tales mean?
exactly.
Veggies don't have tails.
You're telling me talking vegetables isn't demonic?
Hey, man, baby.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was pre-punished for something.
Yep.
And I would say otherwise I was a really angelic kid.
Okay.
I think so.
I don't recall any other punishments.
Yeah.
That was your only punishment?
Well, Doug was a Satanist. I mean, if you remember his costume, underwear on the outside,
That's
that
true.
promoted premarital sex.
I see what
that
you're saying.
That haircut was a sin.
And
for
rock
sure.
and roll music.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, did you have any weird ones?
So I was punished by my siblings.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, I have an older brother.
Did they
and
have
older
authority to
yeah.
do that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I was pushed outside naked.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And this was like 2 weeks ago.
What in the heck for?
okay.
For taking a shower.
Okay.
Yep. And like, haha, you can't make it to your room.
This
we
is-
push you outside naked.
Punishment or like pranks?
Okay. Well, same diff. To me, I was the youngest.
So if you find yourself outside naked when a few minutes prior you were showering, that's a punishment.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
it wasn't
see
for
what you're
pleasure at that time.
Right.
No.
They were also like I love Dunkaroos.
Right. You
Look
still
at
do.
this. Yeah, look at this body. and
That's a
you go,
Dunkaroo buddy.
It's a
That is a
Dunkaroo
Dunkaroo
body.
body.
Yeah. He dunks.
I dunk
This
all
guy
day.
dunks.
Well, I couldn't because my older siblings would eat the sauce.
Are you
No.
freaking
No.
kidding me?
Yeah, because you could peel it both ways, right? They would just peel, scoop the sauce
Bro, that's a
out,
war crime, honestly,
scoop the
dude.
frosting, read tape like a glue stick, so it looks sealed. So I'd take it to school, and go rip it open.
Breadsticks.
Sauceless.
Yeah,
Yes,
you just get
Are you like suggesting to Shannon that she steals
absolutely.
Bart's Dunkaroo sauce? Like dipping sauce?
Yeah.
I mean, what
And-
would be the equivalent to that right now?
All right.
I don't
We're
know.
going to the
What do kids eat these days? Oh, suck out his Uncrustables. Just suck out the peanut butter and jelly and reseal
It's just
it.
a flat Uncrustable. Oh,
No, I just
you
wanna-
have like instant mac
Or
and
squeeze
cheese.
it out. Yeah.
Have
Right.
one of those little cups of instant. This would be for my toddler. Would
Okay.
you take all the cheese powder out so it's just noodles?
Oh God. Yeah.
Like,
Well-
that's what he eats.
Just water flavored noodles.
Oh
Ugh.
God. That's
So I just
disgusting.
want to clarify.
Yeah.
To one of our listeners who
Mhm.
who wrote in, took the time to write in.
Yep.
She's a mother.
Uh-huh.
She's
Right.
seeking out advice. Josh is saying to either A, suck the insides of a peanut butter and jelly
Well-
out like rattlesnake poison.
for their good being though.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
that's some sweet, sweet jelly.
reseal a Dunkaroos pack.
Well, my brother also took my Stretch Armstrong
Yeah.
Right.
and poked holes in the armpits.
No.
What does that do?
Makes the goo fall out. They no longer stretch, bro.
I didn't know there's goo in there.
Oh, there's goo in
I
there. This guy knows what I'm talking about.
What advice are you giving
I
right
don't
now?
have
Is
a
this
clue.
advice or just like
It's
this is what happened to
abuse.
me?
A life, a story.
Push him out into the outside naked after
Yeah.
a shower. and
Yep.
steal
Josh
his
just turned
Dunkaroos.
this segment into therapy. He's just like
Yeah.
airing
my Stretch
out.
Armstrong.
Who else hurt you?
So many people.
Oh, I
Tell us.
love it.
Give
Cameron,
us, give us one more.
Okay. A real punishment. My dad took cable away, and I had PBS for a year.
Oh,
oh,
jeez.
barf.
But that was all you had?
Well, yeah, but I fell in love with Wishbone.
Oh, and Laura Linney.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. who that
Wishbone.
is.
She was the
good.
host for bit on PBS.
Oh yeah, no, Wishbone and
Wish-
Wild America,
Wishbone was good
With
until you
Jonathan
made
Taylor
us read a Wishbone script.
a full one when we did Bumpka Lettuce.
Yeah, we partnered with Bump Galetta, and for the icebreaker on that episode, Josh surprised us by making us read an entire
Wishbone
episode
script.
of Wishbone.
Yeah. It made sense for sure.
It was good. It got trimmed down
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, but yeah, the episode can't be an hour and a half.
Oh man. So I've definitely had some strange ones, but I did want to mention my wife because she chimed in.
Oh, will you do your Borat? Because you really do a good Borat when you
What does
say
it have to do with my wife?
I think it's right there.
No, I'm not gonna do it. So, anyways, she had some good punishments as a teenager, and I assume she's kind of feisty now, so I'm sure she deserved this.
Okay.
But she would get in trouble, and they would take her door away.
Wow.
They took her
Oh.
TV away. She had a
that
little
makes
TV.
sense. Yeah.
And
Door
so
and TV
she's
makes
so
sense.
stubborn though.
Yeah.
She didn't care. Like she wouldn't let it bother. Like most kids are like, please, I'll be good. Like
Right,
they're
right,
wanting to
right.
make
Like a
it better so
normal
they can
kid,
get their
yeah.
door back. She didn't. She's so stubborn. She didn't care. They ended up taking her light bulb away, so she had no door, no lights in her room.
So what? Out of rebellion, would she just flick the switch and they'd be like, "I'm going to take that bulb away"?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the
She
switch
built
off.
she built a campfire in her room.
I don't know.
For
I
some
mean,
light.
she's still stubborn, guys. I take
Yeah.
the light bulbs out of her room all
Got
the
to.
time.
Yeah.
But my biggest punishment I feel like, or the one that still scarred me
Yeah.
the most, we've talked about before.
We sure
Oh,
have.
I hope it's coming.
Which was
What
when
is it?
my mom burned my Pokemon cards.
There it
Yep.
is.
Okay.
Very similar to Wayne's mom. After
Very
hearing
similar.
it.
Yeah, it's the same situation. there.
Nickelodeon and Pokemon, they travel in the same circles.
Right.
Right.
The
And
devil circles.
Early 90s, parents were very confused.
Yeah.
They're getting information from a lot of different places.
80-year-old white men.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's usually where it came from.
Yeah. Nickelodeon, don't know what that is. Better ban it.
Right.
Bingo.
They didn't Google it. They just they
Killed it.
Yeah, they burned them. So I had like a holographic Charizard.
Okay.
No.
You know,
I
he
had
can't tell
so
a
many-
Pokemon story without saying, I had a holographic
I did.
Charizard."
No, he did. Well,
I had
yeah.
a whole notebook. Like, you remember the sleeves with all the little card slots in
Yes.
them?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
That was
Man.
usually pitched to baseball cards people.
Right. Well, baseball kind of got
Wait,
moved over.
Are you saying Pokemon's not a sport?
I don't. Yeah,
Pokemon
I guess.
is a sport.
You said it in a way kind of aggressively just now where you were like,
I don't think I would defend baseball over Pokemon
I think.
or
but-
Pokemon over baseball because
I mean, I see Pokemon as of right now getting more people out doing physical activity with Pokemon Go.
I
than
tried that.
Baseball is.
100%.
You guys remember that? I tried that. I hooked up with the teens in the
Well,
courtyard.
okay, don't say it like that.
No, I do remember that. Josh spent so much time in the park
thought he was a
playing
youth
Pokemon
pastor.
Go. They thought he was. They thought he was a youth pastor.
Well, I was preaching the gospel.
Come on. Florida has been one of the fastest growing states for a
Yeah.
very long time.
Yeah.
In fact, our hometown, Lakeland, Florida,
Really?
Oh,
is actually
wow.
one of the fastest growing cities in America.
Tell us about it.
I don't doubt that, baby.
It's very true.
I can feel it.
Top 10. Exponential growth has been something that's like kind of always been associated with our state.
Right.
And there's a lot of reasons for it. And one that we've covered on our show as recently as last week is the Florida land boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's happening all over.
It happened in the 1920s.
Right.
Man, because of our state's layout and because of our history of like being a swamp where people go to escape, land has always been pretty cheap
Well,
compared to other land.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And the boom.
That's how like Disney like bought up all the land.
100% how they did that. Yeah. So
Mhm.
historically speaking, Florida has cheap property. So
Mhm.
to add some context, when other states were like settled and advancing in technology and populating, Florida was still like a barren land.
Right.
Yep.
But we're cheap.
Right.
Yep.
We
So
have
let's-
that going for us.
No, we do.
Cheap and barren.
That was the thing. So like historically, like say you're a family looking to homestead in the late 1800s,
Right.
a tract of land in Utah or Arizona
Okay.
would run you about $100. Okay. A lot of money
Acre?
back. Yeah. No, well, just for like a plot of land.
Okay.
Plot.
A lot back then.
A plot
That's-
is 5 acres.
Right. That same size property in Florida was $1.
Whoa.
Okay. Well,
So we're 100 times cheaper
Yeah.
No, our
historically at
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That idea, it belonged to a movement that was trying to get people to come to Florida. They wanted, hey, if the land is cheap, people will come and they'll live here,
Right.
and Florida can be a really prosperous state.
For sure.
The problem is they made it very, very easy for people to buy land because they wanted it to be a successful project.
Okay.
So they implemented the mail order land buying process. So you would send in $1 through the U.S. Postal Service, and they would send you a deed. This is your property. You can come
Okay.
do this now.
I mean, I'm okay
Have
with
you
it.
bought anything? I mean, Cam's young. Have
Right.
you bought anything over the mail?
Amazon like every day?
That's the internet.
Right.
Well,
No.
what do you
like,
mean by the mail? Like,
you send money through
Right.
the mail.
I don't
and
think
they
I've done
send you
that.
something physically.
Yeah. Like I bought CDs.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
This whole thing was meant to populate our state
Right.
and meant for like families to come and buy land for
Ideally.
cheap and live here. Unfortunately, greed has always been a very strong motivator. So a program that was meant for normal folks like us
Yep.
basically was hijacked by real estate developers.
Okay.
I could see that.
So people with a ton of money from all over the world were swooping in and buying thousands of acres of land in Florida
Mhm.
with the idea of developing them.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay. The issue was they were buying these large portions of land sight unseen.
Of course.
So there's unexpected problems that are coming up. For example, and this happened frequently, developers in the 1920s, they came up with this idea called the subdivision,
Mm-hmm.
where they wanted to have tightly compacted neighborhoods,
Right.
hundreds of homes in a small area. They want to make a lot of money for very little effort. They would come in, buy this land sight unseen. They would draw the plans for the subdivision in Florida, and they would clear like enough forest to lay down concrete roads and streets for these neighborhoods. But then they would realize that clearing swamp forest is way more difficult and expensive than they could have ever imagined.
Right.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, these investors, they're not from Florida. They don't no idea what
They
the
just
land
hear
is like.
oh, there's
Cheap land.
Yeah,
It's cheap land, right.
There's a plot here.
It's probably similar to the land I'm looking at here.
100%.
It's all flat.
Yeah, I know how to clear
100%.
this land.
So they clear enough forest to lay down roads,
Yep.
and then realize they don't have the money or the manpower to finish the neighborhood.
Okay.
And so in order to salvage what money they have left, they just abandon the projects.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They walk away from it.
Yeah.
So basically, they leave behind these massive forested tracts of land that now have roads running through them.
Okay.
Cool.
Well,
So
at
like
least
for
we didn't kill the environment for no
no,
reason.
right, like for
completely.
it's hundreds of miles of swamp and woods with a freaking just road going through it now.
Cool.
Right. So even present day,
Yep.
this is happening. If you look in North Florida, there's random streets paved through like forest. Like they go nowhere.
Yep.
They lead nowhere. They belong to abandoned subdivisions.
It's not like going to like a Fazoli's or anything.
It's going to just more trees.
It's going nowhere.
Just more
Okay.
trees. So this brings us to the topic of the Indian Lake Estates.
Okay.
In 1955, a developer bought one of these abandoned subdivisions.
Mhm.
And it existed between the town of Lake Wales and Yeehaw Junction.
Right.
Okay. I'm familiar.
Now, for our listeners, a little side note: Yeehaw Junction is a real place. That's a whole other episode.
Yeah,
That
it's
is,
really named
yeah.
that.
It's really named
It's
that.
not like a nickname.
So this developer buys a 12 square mile piece of abandoned forest along State Road 60, and he pays approximately $30 an acre
Jeez, what? In
Wow.
what year was this?
in the 1950s.
Man.
Okay,
So the
wow.
land boom starts in the 20s at
Yep.
$1 a land. By the 50s, it's at $30
Man,
that's
for
wild.
a piece of land.
Yep.
Still dirt cheap.
Right.
Right. So what this developer has done is he's bought one of the previously abandoned subdivisions in the
Okay.
forest.
That maybe had like a road in it.
It had a road in it.
Cool.
It was started and then people left it. This guy come
Right.
in the 50s. He buys one of these,
Yep.
right? He plans to build a community that will consist of 15,000 residents.
Wow.
It will have a golf course, a
Goodness.
country club, just the whole shebang. He's
Okay.
envisioning this massive community in Central Florida. But just like the developers before him, he goes bankrupt trying to clear the swamp forest.
Yep. Welcome to Florida.
Like no one anticipates
Just
the
drain
difficult. Yeah, that's the thing. That's
Drain
why
it.
it's been such an attractive proposal. It's just, it's all swamp. Let's drain it, see what happens.
Yep.
So once again, the project was way too intense, way too expensive. They couldn't afford to do it. However, he does make it further than the other developers.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to put about 100 model homes on the front end of the property, and he completed the golf course.
Nice.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's Home Developer 0, Swamp 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now when you drive by this Indian Lake Estates,
Yeah.
you see a nice golf course,
Cool.
a few dozen houses, and then behind it, just I would say about 12 to 15 miles of untouched forest swamp.
Okay.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So even if you do decide to play golf there or buy a house there, it's still in the middle of wetlands.
There's still a jungle.
It's still a
behind
jungle
the
behind you,
mosquitoes
right?
are gotta be
you.
killing
Oh
you.
man.
The interesting thing, though, is that 4 years after this construction started,
Yep.
in 1959, someone approaches the developer of Indian Lake Estates, and he asked to purchase a single lot of land in the very back of the property,
Okay.
Okay.
That's not suspicious. Like that's in the woods.
in 12 miles deep.
What?
Ew.
12 miles deep
Yeah.
into the property. The developer's like, wouldn't you like one of these nice model homes in the
Right.
front on the golf course? This guy goes, no,
Hate golf.
I want the space in the very back of the property.
Yep.
And the guy's like, that's a swamp, right? Like there's roads back there.
Yeah.
But that's it.
No people. Nothing good.
There's nothing back there. This guy goes, no, this is what I want. This is what I'm asking you to do for me. So basically, not only does this person buy a single lot in the very back, he successfully clears the land
Oh,
and he builds a house back there.
Nice.
that's the end goal, though.
right.
That's
I
the
get
end
That's
goal.
what you want.
So
Yeah.
now the Indian Lake Estates has a few homes on the golf course and then one single house 12 miles back in the swampland.
Okay. That tour probably didn't like when they were trying to sell more model homes, they didn't go, okay, well, we're going to it's going to take it half an hour.
Yeah,
But we're get there.
one city over through in the woods.
God, yeah.
There's another
Legitimately,
house.
Yeah. 12 miles.
As you can imagine,
That's
though,
insane.
that leads to some rumors. right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's this man that lives in the very back of the woods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's by himself. People on the golf course are talking about it. The rumors get so bad that before long, kids in school
Oh yeah.
around the area
Yep.
start talking about this man.
Once they get a hold
What
of
a
it.
hike, though.
Yeah,
Just
this,
to go to get there.
this guy lives in the very back of the Indian Lake Estates, out in the swamp. He's crazy. Here's the thing. What they didn't realize is that the old guy living in the back of the property wasn't just some random old dude.
Okay.
He was a man that a few decades prior was known by millions of people as the Galloping Ghost.
So he's a famous ghost?
He's a famous horse.
His real name was Red Grange, and he was considered to be the person who single-handedly popularized the National Football League,
Wait, what?
the NFL.
What is happening
Okay, hold
here?
on. Back up. He's a galloping horse ghost. His name
His
Grange?
nickname was the Galloping Ghost,
Right.
and his actual name was Red Grange.
Okay.
First name Red, last
How
name
many
Grange.
How
and
many
he invented
lies?
football.
How many lies do you think you can get in on us?
He didn't.
You're really stretching it.
He didn't invent football. He popularized the
Right.
National Football
Yeah,
League.
because when I
perfect.
think about football, I think about old Red Grange, the Galloping.
Well, here we
The
go.
Galloping Ghost.
Ghost.
Here we go. In the 1920s, Red Grange was on the cover of Time magazine.
Sounds like
Okay.
a disease. Red Grange?
Yeah.
Yeah, my right foot's got Red Grange.
On the
Bad.
field, he was a disease.
Oh.
Okay. In the 1920s,
Yeah.
he was on the cover of Time magazine.
Of course.
And they called him America's most popular athlete.
Wow.
Keep in mind, this is the same time period as Babe Ruth.
Right.
Yet Red Grange is known as the king of sports in the United States.
Jeez.
Sports
Okay.
historians acknowledge him as
Yep.
the single most reason that the Professional Football League became popular, that the NFL exists because of this man.
Yeah, for
Red was
sure.
a running back, and he was a genuinely scary dude. In college, he played for the University of Illinois, where he was a 3-time All-American, and he led his team to a national championship in 1923.
Yep.
In his most famous college game, Red Grange returned the opening kickoff 95 yards for a touchdown,
Jeez.
and in the next 12 minutes, he personally scored 3 more touchdowns.
Okay.
So this guy was comically good. Like, he's one of those guys where like
Yep.
they would, and this is also in the season of football where like they're wearing like leather caps
Right.
and no
Yeah.
pads,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're playing in the mud. They would just hand Red Grange the ball, and people would just be like, "Whatever, dude. Like,
Yeah,
just let
yeah,
him
yeah.
do
Not
it."
gonna
Like, he
get
was
him.
The
so
competition isn't turned up as high as it is now.
no,
No.
and every play is like a stiff arm. Like he's just
Right,
running
right.
through people, his arms out, just
Yeah.
like
I'm the
smashing
ghost.
them.
I'm the galloping ghost.
That's what they called him.
Wow.
No one could catch him. Here's the thing. After college, Red Grange signs with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
And they decide that this is the man that needs to go on tour across America speaking to the public about the importance of the National Football League.
I love that.
So before long,
Okay.
America's favorite pastime, baseball,
Yes.
finally had a rival, and it was all thanks to Red Grange.
Right.
That the investors involved in
Yes.
this, they said, look, baseball's making a ton of money.
So
This is what
much.
America's known for.
Yep.
We can do that with football. This is a new sport. We can make
Okay.
this happen. Red Grange is personally responsible for doing that. In 1934, he retires from the Chicago Bears, steps in as a defensive lineman coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's still working for the NFL. He was accepted into the College Football Hall of Fame
Okay.
and the NFL Hall of Fame that same year. The following year, he disappears.
Okay. Do you think there are people listening that when you said Galloping Ghost, they're like, "Oh, this is about Red Grange"?
It's possible because there's been movies made about him that you guys have probably seen.
Wait, what?
We'll get there.
Okay.
So this man goes from being in the national spotlight for almost a decade,
Okay.
literally known as America's best athlete,
Right.
and then he's gone. He walks away from it all.
Okay, crazy.
He disappears. There were headlines across the country and even overseas in Europe
Yeah.
that said, "Where is the Galloping Ghost?"
We want to know where he is.
Yes. please.
Eventually, the
Where is he?
public kind of moves on, and that's the reason why Babe Ruth gained popularity. Because
Okay.
there was no more competition.
Yeah.
The Galloping Ghost, Red Grange has stepped down. Babe Ruth is now the most popular athlete in America. And as it turns out, Red Grange, he actually left the spotlight by choice. He felt like he had done everything he set out to do.
Okay.
And he tells his agent, "I need you to find me somewhere where I can go and live out the rest of my days in peace."
I know a spot.
Yes.
His agent goes, "You ever heard of Yeehaw Junction?
Yeah.
Oh my
And he's
God.
like,
You ever
nope.
heard of Lake Wales, Florida?" He's like, "No,
Nope.
I haven't." Red Grange moves to Lake Wales. He purchases the lot in the
Okay.
very back of this abandoned subdivision.
Yeah.
After 20 years of solitude
What?
in the 1920s, word gets out that this quote unquote crazy man in the back of Indian Lake Estates was actually America's favorite athlete, Red Grange.
But was
Oh
he
my-
like a straight up hermit? Like that? I mean,
Straight up hermit.
like
Yeah.
nobody saw him.
Straight up hermit. Yeah, this guy
Wow.
lived 20 years in the back of these woods. He actually paid off the developer and said, "Look, I know you recognize me.
Oh, really?
I need you to not say anything."
Cool.
Like I'll
Okay,
single-handedly.
that's
People
dope.
people
Strong.
believe that he single-handedly funded most of the projects related to the completion
oh my god.
of the subdivision.
What?
The front end of the subdivision.
Really?
Wow. The front end,
Right.
of course.
So after he's discovered in the 1970s,
Yeah.
after 20 years of solitude, Red begins speaking at neighborhood gatherings and charity events
okay.
as a way to get back to the community. And it was then that the public learned that during his years in solitude, Red had actually secretly gotten married.
What?
So he
What?
wasn't actually living
do
alone
you
in the
meet
back of the
woman
woods.
hermit.
How do you meet?
He knew
somebody?
this woman prior. I mean,
Oh,
he's
okay.
the most famous athlete in the world.
Well, yeah, you meet people.
You meet
Right,
people, but I guess he knew her prior to becoming a hermit, snuck her back in the woods. They got married, and she was
Okay.
living with him for 20 years
That's
in the back
nuts.
of this
Gosh.
neighborhood. So,
That makes me more happy though, because like you don't want to be your
right,
yourself.
he's
for
living
20
just
years.
kind of
yeah.
peacefully with his wife. And so when he comes out of hiding,
Yep.
he kind of regains a little bit of his celebrity status for a little while. And he's asked in an interview.
Yep.
They say to him, like, why step away from it all?
Okay.
Like, you're the most
Right.
famous athlete in
For sure.
America. Why walk away? And they said that Red Grange paused, and he said, at nighttime, you can't believe how many stars you can see when there aren't people around to distract you.
Amen.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
That's beautiful.
Light
Red-
pollution
that really
is a
is
real
beautiful.
thing.
it's a real
yeah.
thing. Red Grange passed away at his home in the back of the
Of
subdivision
course.
in Lake Wales in
Yep.
1991.
What?
That's when I was born.
And
Okay.
in 2008, ESPN honored him, giving him the title of the best college football player of all time.
Oh
No
my
way.
Gosh.
Yeah. And in fact, so the movie, The Leatherheads with
Yeah.
George
Yeah,
Clooney
George Clooney.
is based off of Red Grange.
You know, it's
No
almost
way.
like
Did he
Red
move to
Grange-
Lake Wales in the movie?
No, so that
No.
basically there were three characters in Leatherheads,
Yeah.
and they were
Shia
all
LaBeouf.
based off of traits of Red Grange. So this one guy
Oh, okay.
inspired the three main characters in the movie.
Gotcha.
I was saying it's almost like one legend had to die for another one to be born.
Sure.
Right.
Well, I
For-
think it's
for me
Yeah.
in 91.
100%. I agree. And I think it's one of those things where, like, when you told me you were born in the wilderness in Lake Wales, I had no idea
Right.
No.
that
In a
you
cabin. Yeah.
in a cabin.
Yeah. Cameron Grange. It's weird.
That is,
You wouldn't think.
I didn't connect the dots till just now. But I will say this though, I have seen Cameron run, and I describe it as a gallop.
Well, that's why you guys call me the galloping host.
Well, no, we call you the
Oh.
galloping goat.
Episode 148, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
That was
has
terrible.
gone off the rails.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
But we
Galloping
appreciate
host.
you.
Wow.
This episode comes out
podcast
right
host.
before
I get it.
October,
Yep.
and October's our spooky month.
Right.
So that's when
Cabin in
things-
the woods, you want to kind of warm them up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
This is a little teaser as we're
Yeah.
going into the
We got more
spooky
spooky
ooky.
stuff.
Oh, we got a whole month's worth.
Yikers
Oh, we got a
Island.
bunch of spook.
Yikers
We have
Island.
a very special documentary premiere that's coming out.
Yes.
We have episode 150 anniversary episode.
Yep.
3
Yeah.
years strong, thanks to you guys
Thanks to you
and
guys.
girls. And we love you very much. Patreon.com
So
/
much.
FMOFM podcast is where you can subscribe for bonus material.
Mhm.
Also, that's our handle for every social media page that counts. We love you.
We
I
love
love
you
you.
so much.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.